Hey, good afternoon. Dr. Dave here from Shore's Wellness Solutions, the Natural Health and Wellness Center. And of course, I'm here with my lovely wife, Amy. And we're here to talk about your gut, your skin, and you for about the next 20 minutes or so.
Yes, we are. Does anyone have any gut issues? I wonder. Do you have gut issues, skin issues? Does anyone suffer with acne or any kind of eczema, anything like that?
We have a lot of
I
patients
feel like
that
we
that,
do. Yeah, so we're going to talk a little bit more about your gut, how it affects your skin, and all the things that come out on your skin.
Awesome.
Right? So have you ever spent a ton of money on skincare products? I'm sure us women have. Men probably not so much, but us women are always spending tons of money on skincare
Whatever
products.
we use.
Right?
Uh-huh.
And trying to get that perfect glow, make your skin look better, whatever. And a lot of times those products help for a very short time, but sometimes they don't even help you at all. So a recent skin store customer survey found that the average consumer spends about $8 a day on skincare.
How much?
$8 a day.
A day?
Every single day.
Wow.
Sometimes applying up to 16 different products before even leaving the house. So can anyone relate to that? We're putting all this stuff on our skin, trying to get rid of the acne, any kind of blemishes, make our skin look glowing, right? Well, one thing that we're finding is really doesn't, not that the skincare products don't make a difference, because it really is important what you're putting on your skin as well, but it all comes from the gut.
Above, down, inside out.
Exactly.
Above, down, and from the inside out. So it's a matter of what you're putting in your body is the expression of outward.
Exactly. So we're going to talk a little bit today about what you can do helping you to correct your gut so you can have healthy, glowing skin.
Okay.
Which is what, I don't know if you men want that. I don't know. Are you looking for glowing skin? I guess guys don't really care about that so much, right?
I glow pretty much, don't I?
You're always glowing,
All
right?
So the first question we like to ask is, love it, what is the largest organ in the body?
Did you know that the skin is actually considered an organ?
Yes, I did.
Well, did you guys know that? The average person's skin could cover an area of 2 square meters and accounts for approximately 15% of our body weight, making it the largest organ of our body.
So to put that in American terms, that's about 20 square feet.
I don't even know. You know me in feet and
I know.
all of that, so I'm not going to really know.
So
how
let's
long
see,
with that? You're going to give me
ceiling
that?
tiles,
Yeah,
huh?
right?
Good.
Unlike other organs, the skin covers the outside of the body, acting as a barrier to protect our internal organs from outside harm.
Yes, it does.
The scientific term for this organ is called the dun-dun-dun.
Epidermis.
Yes, it
and
is.
when you were a little kid, you'd say to your buddy, hey, your epidermis is showing. And they'd be freaking out, like, what's showing? It's just the skin.
Yeah, that sounds like something that you would totally do,
We
right?
did, yes.
The skin has multiple layers with various functions. So we're going to talk a little bit more in depth about this.
Okay.
Do you want to go? I know you like talking about more of the scientific stuff, so.
We do. Let's get skin deep. Okay, so the skin is made up of 3 layers. The epidermis, we just discussed a little bit, the dermis, which is right below that, and the hypodermis, or the subcutaneous tissue. The epidermis makes up the outermost layer of the skin, and it provides a waterproof barrier, kind of like a duck. I don't know.
Calling me a duck?
No.
Oh, okay, good.
The layer of skin is absent of blood vessels. Okay, so there isn't any there. And that's why you can scrape the outer surface and you don't bleed. It might hurt, but you don't bleed. Palms of the hands, bottom of the feet are the thickest part. There's, and that's for protection. There we go, if I get the words out. And the dermis also houses, the next layer down, houses the nerves and responsible for our sense of touch, pressure. Blood vessels are located in the dermis as well. They provide nourishment and waste removal to the skin. And then the hypodermis is made up of the deeper subcutaneous levels, and that's more of the fat and the connective tissue. And technically that layer is not part of the skin, or is it? And its purpose is to attach the skin to the underlying bone and muscle, as well as supplying blood vessels and more nerves.
Oh.
Nice.
Well, skin performs many essential functions, such as protecting from pathogens and creates a barrier between the internal and the external environment. The many nerve endings located in the skin react to temperature, touch, pressure, vibration, and tissue injury. Temperature's regulation is an important function containing a large blood supply to either warm or cool the entire body and to maintain an adequate temperature. So sweat glands, for example, are located in the skin as a measure of cooling the body and excreting toxins. So people really don't love to sweat, but it is a good thing to sweat because you want to get those toxins out of the body and help to regulate your temperature.
There was a commercial years ago for an antiperspirant, and their slogan was, "Never let them see you sweat." I don't know about that, because now you're holding those toxins in, and usually when you use antiperspirants, it's aluminum salt, so you're building up the toxicity of the aluminum in the body, particularly in the armpits. And for women, that can really lead to tumors in the outer part of the breast area, so not really good. You're supposed to perspire.
Right.
It's very important.
The skin is also a storage center for fats and water, which provide a unique environment for the synthesis of vitamin D.
And there's a rule of 25 on that. 25% of your body, arms, head, there's 25%. If you go by the rule of nines with the burn victims. So your arms and your head, about 15 to 20 minutes outside in the sun every day. Now here we are in Michigan, and come January and February, we got -20 blowing off the lake. We're not going to want to stand out there with 25% of our body exposed to the sun. So it's important for us to get more sun exposure in the warmer months, the spring, summer, and fall, until we get cooped up inside in the winter.
Right.
Or covered up.
Yeah.
Go ahead, I'll be quiet.
The water-resistant barrier of the skin allows nutrients to remain in the body to eventually be absorbed by other organs as well.
You know what vitamin D can do to the body?
What can it do?
If excess production of vitamin D is why we get sunburn. And so it's really important to make sure we're getting enough calcium in the body, not just calcium, but also essential fats. And there's certain ones that actually will help to pull the vitamin D away from the skin as you make it, so the chances of burning decrease.
Right.
So we use calcium lactate and Cataplex F for that
Yes, we do.
instead of sunscreen.
Yeah. The skin houses three main ecological areas: moist, dry, and sebaceous, where a rich environment of microbes thrive. Around 1,000 species of bacteria have been identified just on our skin.
That's correct.
Sounds a little creepy when you think like, oh, I've got all this on my skin,
It's
right?
1,000 different types of bacteria, right? And they're beneficial.
Right. This has been such a major area of interest in the National Institute of Health that launches the Human Microbiome Project to identify and characterize the microorganisms which are found in association with both healthy and diseased humans.
Mm-hmm.
Skin flora is typically non-pathogenic, meaning it's non-harmful bacteria.
Right. Kind of like your gut flora. The bacteria in there is non-pathogenic. It's not harmful. There are pathogens that get inside of us that'll make us sick, but for the most part, that 4 to 6 pounds of gut flora are non-pathogenic.
Yes. The rich diversity of skin flora prevents pathogenic organisms from colonizing the skin's surface. So skin flora is under examination for additional benefits, such as those found in the gut flora, which you just talked about, right?
Yes.
So we're going to learn a little bit more about the different skin types, because everybody has a different skin type, and what you can do regards to that skin type and how you can balance things out so your skin is looking its best.
So I'm thinking there's 4 types of skin types.
That's it?
Yep.
All right, well, let's go.
There's normal skin type,
Right?
then there's dry,
Yeah.
then there's oily,
Yep.
then there's a combination.
There you go. So what kind of skin type do you have? Let's
Normal.
see. The category normal refers to well-balanced skin, referring to the balance of sebum. Achieving normal skin is the goal of most products.
And dry skin lacks the sebum that's needed to retain the moisture. And sebum also acts as a protective layer over the skin against external influences. That was pretty good.
Well, the mouse is sticking and it's
Yeah,
not
it's all
moving,
right.
so sorry.
So problems related to dry skin are a common complaint and account for about 40% of the visits to dermatologists. Dry skin is more sensitive to irritation, to redness, and to the risk of infection because you don't have that nice protective layer. Your hands, your feet, your elbows, knees, they're particularly prone to dry skin, such as getting roughness, calluses, scaling, frequent itchiness, and also chapping so much where you can form the cracks, particularly in the wintertime as things cool off.
Right. Well, oily skin, on the other hand, is just the opposite, with an overproduction of sebum, leaving the skin feeling greasy and looking shiny. Oily skin can be caused by genetics, hormonal imbalances, and stress.
Don't have any of that.
Nobody has stress, right? Combination skin consists of both dry
And oily.
and oily. Oily areas usually make up what is referred to as like the T-zone. Everyone knows that, right? Your forehead, chin, nose. That's where your cheeks are a little bit drier, and you tend to be shiny and oily this way.
Right. So shiny and oily across and down the middle with the dryness on the sides of the face. But they can vary, the skin that is, and it's influenced by both internal and external factors as well. So the one of my favorites, gastrointestinal tract. So the GI tract is made up of everything from the mouth down to the anus, and just had a class this past weekend talking about the GI tract.
Yes, you did.
We went through every single part. It's pretty cool. Anyway, not that we haven't before, but it was all about nutrition.
Nice refresher.
The body is home to a variety of bacterial ecosystems, and the gut, also known as the small and large intestine, has its own microbiome bacteria not found anywhere else in the body. In fact, the large intestine biome is different than the small intestine. And so there are over 400 bacterial species found in the lower bowel, the large intestine itself, and the stomach is more acidic, and that houses limited amounts of bacteria. Incidentally, reflux is because your stomach is not acidic enough, and so different organisms live there. The lower esophageal sphincter, LES, is supposed to be hit with acid so that it remains tight. And when your stomach is not as acidic, that lower esophageal sphincter loosens up, which allows for the reflux. And so anybody that's been on antacids and stuff for a long period of time, the reason for that is it's not being treated correctly. And a little shout out for antacids. 2 to 6 weeks is the maximum you're supposed to be on those things, not for life. And so it's really about reacidifying the stomach, getting the body healthy to take care of that. Back to, okay, enough of the commercial. So the gut is responsible for absorbing nutrients, for housing both helpful and harmful bacteria, which ones are you going to feed, and of course excreting waste. And so the primary function is to absorb the nutrients from your food so that your body can function optimally. And improving gut function and health has been scientifically shown to improve skin health, immune function, and energy levels, and much more. So because the skin and the gut both share a number of similarities, we know that there's a gut-skin axis or connection, and both host individual microbiomes and play a key role as defenders against pathogens invading from the outside environment.
Yep. So the health of your skin is dependent on what's happening inside of your gut, which is what all of that means, right? I'm going to say it in...
Just going to put it in 3 words.
3 words,
awesome.
Right? So numerous studies have shown treating gut issues also treats the skin issues as well. There are many strains of bacteria living in the gut, which can be divided into 2 categories. The so-called good bacteria, such as probiotics, and the bad guys.
Pathogens.
Correct. There needs to be a balance of bacteria found in the gut for the proper digestion of foods and the synthesis of vitamins that your body needs. So, however, the body, when the bad guys take over, so you get all this nastiness going on in your gut, now it's going to come out into your skin, right? One of the many functions of the gut is to create a barrier keeping things out. In a healthy gut, nutrients can enter, but toxins and other harmful elements cannot.
Correct. Gut imbalances. Just a little something in my head, but I won't go there. So when you look at gut imbalances, that'll include the small intestine, bacterial overgrowth, or SIBO, becoming more and more popular as it goes on. And this occurs when bacteria from the colon, from the large intestine, forms and starts to back up, starts to get into the small intestine where it doesn't belong. So that's what SIBO is. And so we actually have a great protocol that we use that'll reverse SIBO and help to get rid of it, usually in about 4 to 6 weeks. We also have gut dysbiosis. This creates an environment where bacteria, harmful bacteria, will take over, and this increases the harmful bacteria, or now let me rephrase that, the increase of harmful bacteria has actually shown a role in many common skin disorders and skin issues. And then there's hypochlorhydria. Talked about this ad nauseum this weekend, and that's a good thing. And that refers to when someone doesn't produce enough acid in their stomach, and that's commonly seen with people with chronic facial redness. We get them on Zypan or maybe Digest Forte, and what happens is that stomach acid comes back and we see that redness in the face go away. Then there's parasites and yeast infection as well, and that can be a source of persistent inflammation of the gut-skin axis as well. And each of these conditions can lead to a leaky gut, where the villi, the gut lining, starts to separate, so undigested food particles and pathogens can get into the bloodstream that don't belong there. And of course,
Yeah.
we're going to be talking about the leaky gut. I know, I like to get ahead of myself.
Right?
Okay. And so leaky gut syndrome is a consequence of various bacterial imbalances in the gut, where bacteria attacks the gut wall, it disrupts the barrier protection, and then substances will leak into the body, such as bacteria, virus, and fungi, incompletely digested food, and of course toxins as well from bacterial metabolism or just things that we're putting in our bodies. Consequences of leaky gut syndrome can be severe, and chronic inflammation can occur from that, placing additional stress on the skin and the whole body. And food allergies can develop as the immune system starts identifying the food particles as invaders, and nutritional deficiencies are also a result of incomplete digestion as well.
Due to an extensive research on gut flora, we know how many conditions are either caused or worsened by an improper balance of bacteria in the gut. Some skin conditions specifically caused by poor gut health can include acne, facial redness, eczema, psoriasis, dry skin, rosacea, dermatitis. These are some common conditions that many individuals experience. Skin conditions are typical symptoms of something else going on in the body, such as various gut imbalances like we've been talking about. Acne is probably one of the most common skin conditions, affecting over 85% of people at some point in their life.
It's a lot.
Yeah, at some point. While it was once believed eating greasy foods like French fries led to acne, we now know that the intestinal microflora is really what's to blame in many cases. One study examined a group of acne sufferers, found SIBO in over half of the group. The SIBO, or small intestinal bacteria overgrowth, which we talked about earlier, those patients were then divided into two groups, one treated with intestinal microflora correcting agents and the other one without.
Let me guess. The group that was treated with the microflora correcting agents healed quickly compared to the other group.
Yeah, twice as fast.
Wow.
Look at that. So another study examined the effects of fermented beverages such as kefir on the acne. So they found that the fermented beverages reduced inflammatory acne by 40% compared to the placebo group. So other studies showed that the SIBO is 10 times more prevalent in rosacea acne sufferers than healthy controls.
So here we're getting back to the small intestinal bacteria overgrowth really needs to help suppress that to get that bacteria out of the small intestine, because it only belongs in the large intestine. And that's where you look at that ileocecal valve just not working correctly. Right?
So digestive enzymes are necessary for the breakdown of foods. A lack of digestive enzymes has been linked to poor absorption of fat and protein, which are both essential for healthy skin. When fat and protein isn't properly broken down and absorbed, the skin can become dry, resulting in conditions such as eczema and psoriasis.
Yeah, because the digestive enzymes are mostly produced in the pancreas and the endocrine glands and secreted at varying points along the GI tract. And there are a total of 22 different digestive enzymes. The following are the most commonly discussed. Looking at amylase, which helps to digest your carbohydrates, lipase, which helps to break down fats, cellulose, which supports digestion of fiber, lactase breaks down milk and milk sugars, maltase helps to convert sugars from grains into glucose. There's phytase, which aids in overall digestion, particularly with the production of B vitamins. Protease, which is responsible for breakdown of proteins, and of course sucrase, which is accountable for the digestion of most sugars that we consume.
So the following foods are recommended for helping to improve your digestive enzymes. Eating a variety of raw foods, including raw cultured dairy and raw manuka honey. Soaking, sprouting, fermenting your food, such as nuts, seeds, grains, and legumes.
So a little story on that. So you should soak the amount of nuts that you're going to have tomorrow overnight. So remember early on in doing this years ago, took the whole bag and soaked it overnight. And so got to the first day, quarter to half cup, second day, quarter to half cup. But by the third day, because I soaked all of them, overnight, by the
They're
third
rotten,
day.
right?
Well, no, they were growing new things.
Of
And
course they are.
It wasn't nuts, so yeah, we had to throw the whole thing out. So only
That's
do about.
because you're sprouting it. So
It
you're,
wasn't the nut sprouting. It was.
oh, you're growing fungus?
Yeah.
That's what I said. You're growing fungus on your nuts.
Yep. That doesn't sound.
It doesn't
good.
sound right, but apparently that's what was going on.
Huh.
Anyway, you want to make sure that you correct your magnesium deficiency.
Uh-huh.
And you also want to supplement with digestive enzymes when necessary, because as we age, we don't always produce enough digestive enzymes to digest the foods that we're trying to consume.
It's true. By the time we're 50 years old, we're producing less than half of the amount of stomach acid that we need, hydrochloric acid that we need to digest and live healthily.
Right? So here's a list of healing foods to help improve your gut and your skin. Bone broth, which contains collagen, making it great for healing the skin and the gut. Fermented vegetables,
Some of my favorite.
such as sauerkraut, kimchi, are great ways to boost your microbiome with beneficial probiotics.
Swedish bitters, which is an herbal tonic, and that's effective in healing chronic infections and balancing stomach acid production.
Right?
That's why herbs, real herbs, not stuff you get in the stores, but real herbs taste bitter, because that bitters helps with the digestive tract in preparing it for eating.
Fermented drinks are also great, such as kefir,
Mhm.
because they're rich in the beneficial probiotics that your body needs to help improve complexion when you consistently drink those.
And another one of my favorites, coconut oil.
Yes, coconut oil is
Because
great.
that has natural antimicrobial properties in it, and also it has a makeup of fats that are essential for the gut-skin axis.
Right. All right, so polyphenols are plant compounds that are not fully digested. So they make their way into the colon, where they can be digested by gut bacteria and increase the quality of good bacteria in the gut.
The bifidobacteria and the lactobacillus.
Yes. Good sources of polyphenols include cocoa,
Yum.
grape skins,
Right, now it's not Hershey milk chocolate.
No,
It's cocoa.
like
cocoa powder.
raw, yeah,
Yes.
raw cacao powder.
Mhm.
Is that what they say? How they say it? The more,
Cocoa powder.
yeah, whatever. Anyway,
Green-
almonds,
Green tea.
green tea, yep, onions,
Yum.
blueberries, broccoli. Those are some of the best foods that you can consume to give you some good gut bacteria.
That's right. Probiotic foods?
Yeah,
All right.
or prebiotic foods.
Oh, prebiotic foods. There they are. Good. So prebiotic foods are those which feed the healthy bacteria, known as probiotics.
Mhm.
So when you buy probiotics at the store, the majority of them don't have prebiotic in them, so you're just wasting your money because it's going to get in there and just die. And the probiotics you buy in the store, if you're on any kind of antibiotic, you're just destroying them, you're just killing them right away. So that's what I love about standard processed products, because their probiotics have prebiotics in them, and they're antibiotic resistant because of what they're made with. So prebiotics promote the growth of the beneficial microbes in the gut, and they mainly consist of complex carbs or fiber, which the body can't digest, but instead bacteria can break them down for fuel. And numerous studies have reported that prebiotics can promote the growth of many healthy bacteria, which is important. And foods that are high in prebiotics and support a healthy gut will include legumes, oats, bananas, berries, asparagus, dandelion greens, garlic, leeks, onions. That's enough.
That's it.
Could go on, but I won't.
Fermented foods are rich in lactobacilli as well, a beneficial bacteria. A diet rich in fermented foods has been shown to improve good bacteria in the gut while also reducing the bad guys.
And most people just don't eat fermented foods anymore. It's too bad. I mean, you get some good sauerkraut, some good kimchi, good kefir. I mean, it's really delicious when you have them fermented right.
Right. A study examining individuals consuming plain natural yogurt regularly were found to have fewer bacteria associated with inflammation and a number of chronic diseases.
Mhm.
So getting those fermented foods in your body is going to help reduce that inflammation. Reducing the inflammation is going to not show up in your skin as well.
Correct.
Numerous studies have found that fermented foods enhance the function and the composition of the microbiota. So that's the bacteria in your gut.
And I mentioned them, but we already have.
Yes,
The
we have.
kimchi, the sauerkraut, plain natural yogurt.
Exactly.
Those are the best.
Now,
There's also foods to avoid.
of course there are.
You know, high
We talk
sugar-
about this like almost on every single.
Every day. High sugar, high fat diets have been shown to impact gut bacteria negatively, allowing for the overgrowth and harmful species. And so what are you doing with high sugar, high fat diets? You're feeding the pathogens while destroying the good bacteria in your system.
Exactly.
Additional studies on artificial sweeteners have shown that they too have negative effects on the gut microbiome flora as well. And you should also avoid refined grains, wheat, rice, and enriched flour. You know, those things you just should not consume because they're very harmful for the body.
Exactly. And other inflammatory foods that negatively affect the environment of the gut include gluten, dairy, corn, soy, caffeine, and alcohol.
Mhm.
All of those play a role, so you should really try to stay away from those as much as possible.
Okay. Supplements. Supplementes. Okay. When a compromised gut is suspected, following supplements can help you restore proper balance. L-glutamine. We use Enzicor, great product by Standard Process, which really helps get the amino acids back in there and repair the gut and intestinal lining. There's licorice root, which is Standard Process, MediHerb's High Pep. It's Environon, it's an adrenal complex, it's an ashwagandha complex, really fantastic. And that's an adaptogenic herb that helps the body's natural processes for maintaining the lining of the stomach.
Right.
Then we need hydrochloric acid. We use betaine hydrochloride and Zypan because if you have too little acid, you're not going to be able to digest your foods. You're not going to be able to trigger the digestive response properly through the digestive tract. You'll have poor digestion. Then there's probiotics, and we got a bunch of things. Lactic acid yeast comes to mind, Zymex comes to mind, prosymbiotic. They all come to mind, which helps to change the flora for the better and the microbiota of the stomach. And they have the power so much to improve the gut microbiota that individuals with an imbalance, such as having a compromised digestive tract following antibiotic treatment, for example, really will see the benefits of that.
Right. Foods are the best way of improving gut flora. However, it doesn't hurt to add a supplement when you're trying to correct imbalances.
Correct.
And with the foods that everybody consumes these days, not eating as well as we should be, it's really important to add these supplements into your regular regimen in order to help correct everything so you can function as optimally as you're looking for. Otherwise, you're not going to function that well.
Mhm.
So, that was a lot of things that we've talked about
A lot of information
today. We're
Yep.
trying to cut it a little short so we don't take up too much of your time today, but I just want to thank you for attending this class and
Thanks
watching.
for joining us today. Hope you learned something.
Yeah, let us know if you have any questions about anything we talked about. I know we're covering a lot in a short period of time, so just put a comment in the message below, or you can contact us as well at the office if you have any questions that you want to ask personally. But we'd be happy to share with you more about what products, supplements, and food choices to get you on the right track to help your skin better and your gut be better.
And if you have any gut or skin issues and you'd like us to assess it for you, come on in for a consultation, always at our expense.
Yeah, we'd be happy to talk with you. Give us a call and we'll go over all of your concerns and we'll see if and how we can help you. So, hope you have a great day, make it great, and we will see you next week Thursday at 1 o'clock.
I'm Dr. Dave,
And I'm Amy
and we want to be your inspiration.
for Healthy Living. Bye, guys.
Take care.